The beginning of the film is a scene of a skinny teenager who is being chased by a group of cones. This boy's name is Cho Pulse, a victim of a cross-border kidnapping ring. Pulse ran to the main road and luckily met a police car. He pleaded for help from the two policemen while spreading his trembling hand and handing them evidence of the kidnapping. I thought that my life had escaped from the chains of criminals, but no. In the distance, a black car appeared. Mango Cie stepped down and suddenly stabbed the policeman to death with a knife. He continued to punch the rope and then came out repeatedly into the young man's stomach. On a normal day, like any other normal day, the inspector and his colleagues arrested a group of flower traffickers in the city. After catching the head of a shipper, the ghost immediately asked his subordinates to enter the water supply. They were all ready to rush into their lair. Finally, the day that the criminals feared the most had arrived, the day when the Demon King visited in large numbers. However, they're also extremely intelligent, making a second gate in case this happens. When the ghost and his associates were not knowing what to do, the criminals quickly collected evidence. What is difficult to worry about? The inspector stepped up and used his superhuman strength to enter the door continuously. Meanwhile, the boys inside were still working hard to destroy their phones and flush the flour down the toilet. However, their discharge speed cannot be as fast as the speed of the ghost. The moment the ghost opened the door was also the time when they turned to the circle of labor. One by one, the demon put out the pulp. Because they could not destroy the evidence in time, the evidence of their crime was still intact. It turned out that this was the lair of a transnational high-tech flower trading organization. They create an app just like Shopify, but all the items sold are flour. Confronting high-tech criminals has never been easy. After a period of investigation, the cybersecurity team found the person standing. After creating an application to sell flour to criminals, the founder, named Cho Sung-string, was confirmed dead in the Philippines not long ago. Based on the injury on the body of the string fig, the doctor concluded that he had been tortured by someone for a very long time. Her weight dropped from 74 to only 58 kilograms, but was not positive for my Tui. This is not a mere murder. It is very likely that the guy was involved in a transnational criminal organization. The ghost went out and accidentally met Fig's mother. She said that her son has rarely called home since he came to the Philippines. After confiding for a while, the ghost learned that Sung-string had worked at the HB Trading Company before he died. Hearing the bitter cry of her mother, the ghost in her heart was a little heavier. The head of HB Company is Chairman Jiang, an IT genius who specializes in driving chickens into silver and virtual currency floors. Meanwhile, the kidnapped big programmers are still following the orders of the criminals. Now no one dares to resist because they are afraid that their end will be like a fig string. Bitch Trang suspected that he was the direct manager that Chairman Jiang had to step down. He promised that if the number of members on the mound increased, he would increase the shares of the suspicious site, but now he has not seen it. At this time, another company's gambling page appeared, causing Trang to stand up and deal with it. Meanwhile, in South Korea, the cybersecurity team discovered that the rope was not the perpetrator. He didn't program a flower trading app, which was developed from his original app. The original application of the string is simply to create a large library that allows students to ask each other's questions. When Uncle Meng heard this, he immediately called his mother to announce the good news. However, the other end of the line was not the voice of the mother. As it turned out, she died after burying her son. The only thing she left was a letter. A letter with extremely brief content, but a lot of hatred. Please punish the killer of my son. Returning to the Philippines, Chong Ji and his juniors were present at the place where the opponent's new mound was located. He ordered to knock down the pressed mound and then drove the bridge to smash the door. Before they had time to regain their spirits, Chongji's juniors rushed to attack. It must be admitted that the melee ability of the villain is still something extremely different. The way he held a knife to poke his opponent looked like poking a duck. Cold eyes, decisive blows, and skill with knives. Anything is indeed evil in terms of both temperament and physicality compared to the opponent. Whether it's 10 or hundreds, If you keep rushing slowly like this, you need to be done anyway. When the owner finished taking the gun and shooting it, he wisely sneaked the button into a corner. The moment he stopped shooting, he suddenly rushed out with a stab in the shoulder. Don't pull the trigger and send juniors to take their data back. Meanwhile, the cybersecurity team tried to hack into the passion data of the rope gun but found nothing. It seems that the criminals quickly erased all the evidence to destroy the evidence. The ghost is a traditional muscular inspector, so he listens to this knowledge like a duck hears thunder. So he concluded that the cybersecurity team would take care of the technology. And he will take care of the onion and the bunch behind the pulp. The ghost brought this matter to find the captain of the pangolin. He asked the captain to take on the case of the rope gun because he had found a solution. The more the numbness he heard, the more absurd he felt. Their investigation team only received a few cases in the city, but the high-tech criminals were completely tied. Putting on his pants, the ghost asked for a penny for the two of them on the cybersecurity team, and the rest of the team would take care of everything. On this side, in order to calm down, Chairman Jiang gave him another more delicious offer. If it increases by 100,000 members, it will increase the shares to 10 and give him management rights. Meanwhile, a high-tech crime hunting squad under the direction of Tae Su was formed. Two people from the network security team quickly found Changgi's pole fish squeeze mound. It is called the Emperor Casino. Players who want to participate are required to deposit a certain amount of money into the game. What do you think? There is no shortage of money in our house. In another development, two opposing gangs were arguing in a casino. Both leaders thought that this was their territory. When they were about to hug each other, the captain and the ghost appeared. The ghost didn't want the captain to lose face, so he intervened. He punched 2 punches, causing the 2 security guards to collapse on the spot. The captain walked and watched, and the 2 leaders were so nervous that they almost peed their pants. When facing the ghost, the 2 had to explain that the Dukhan just now were new soldiers, so they didn't know right or left. So, why do they fight each other in the middle of the day? This guy is full to the area where I am sick, now one is the toilet, and the other is that they all hug each other at the station. Hearing this, the 2 leaders immediately turned around and hit each other's heads. Honey, fate gave birth to us. After making peace, it starts to come to stage 2, paying money. Why do you have to pay money? Just give me the money, I tell you, because you deserve it. Before leaving, the ghost asked the 2 of them to quickly find out the people involved in the online casino, and if they found it, they would call him. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi has completed the number of members requested by Chairman Zhang, but the shares have not yet increased. In order to punish the chairman for swallowing his words, Trang Yi asked clothing sellers to absolutely not send money to Georgia. He booked a ticket to South Korea, leaving a mess of Georgia to deal with itself. On this side, the chairman of the page was not a medium type. He ordered his subordinate to be the director and then prepared to replace him in the position of the chairman. The search process was so difficult that a large number of people had to intimidate the criminals to get more information. By chance, they know a person who used to own an online casino named Jiang Jiso, the president of Asset Company. The ghost knew this information and flew straight to Jiso to inquire. The crowd ignored Jiso's restraint and began to swing his fist at the boxing machine. This machine has been limited in score, but the ghost still gets an absolute score. A terrifying physical strength that surpasses even the power of technology. Dong Su came here to ask Jiso a few things. He wants Jiso to go back to the station with him, but it's not private here. In the past, Jiso used to invest money to buy a foreign software. They kidnapped the programmers and opened an illegal business company. This betting site with the name of the Emperor's Casino is the place that scammed Jiso's money. They sold him a pressed page, and a few days later a group of people came and wiped everything out. Fortunately, Jiso still remembers their dealership. It is located somewhere in the ward to see his car. In case Jiso dropped his nose, the ghost had dragged him along so that there was nothing left to fight. Jiso acts as a player at the casino, where the dealer's people frequent. The fake brother, who had just lost to lure the prey to the fishing rod. Sure enough, Jiso's suspicious, but seemingly money-rich expression attracted his prey. He took him to a private room and began to introduce the online casino. Here you can play as much as you want, eat as much as you want. Jisoo continues to show her acting ability to have one or two. You cursed that bastard, that shrimp was so stupid, and asked me to play. However, when he finished saying this sentence, Jisoo realized that he had forgotten all the lines to act. What else do you say now, father? Jisoo's literal stupid question made the grass guy wake up. He went out waving his arms and dancing his feet, making it very difficult for the police to arrest him. Everything was only really fine when the crowd appeared. When he was taken into the car for interrogation, the grass guy couldn't help but tremble. When Jisoo kept her face close to the glass door with a growling face, the ghost quickly took advantage of this opportunity to make up a story. The story of assassin Jisoo kills people without hesitation in China. Those who looked into Jisoo's eyes for too long couldn't go back. Jisoo has lost a lot of money at the online casino, so now she just wants to kill people. Hearing this, the grass guy immediately slammed his teeth into each other. When Jisoo opened the door, the ghost immediately pushed him out and continued to advise the grasshopper. Yes, my name is Choi Ju-seon. Receiving information from the grass name, the investigation team was ready to carry the Seon at the airport. They followed him to the clothing store and then began to arrest him. This one has a very good ear and runs very fast. After a fierce struggle with the police, he also managed to escape outside. Suddenly, the old lady is not old. The true identity of the Changi is actually a mercenary. This time, he went directly to Korea to meet Seon. When Changi asked Seon to raise his stake, he used the excuse that he was busy depositing some virtual currency. If the virtual currency is successful, the online casino will hand it all over to Kyung. With virtual currency, Seon will no longer need to launder money. And the only person who will stop that future is the name of the market tester. If Changi handles this name for him, the casino management code will belong to him. It turned out that the name Seon ran the old clothing company to launder money for Seon. However, he refused to reveal that name for fear of death. Sorry for Seon, the ghost advised him to tell everything before being taken to the truth room. Legend has it that no one has come out of that room with their lives back. That evening, Manager Lee, Chairman Jiang's powerful right-hand man, spoke to the cryptocurrency moderator. However, the negotiations went nowhere. The moderator has a life of integrity, so he will never accept bribes. Seeing that Manager Lee had been in charge for too long, Changi opened the door to inquire. When he learned that the negotiation had failed, Changi pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the stomach. Looking at Changi so ruthless that he killed his comrades, the moderator had to accept to hold the money and then let the virtual currency through. After completing the goal, Changi Alo gave Chairman Jiang and announced that he would promote Manager Lee into the river. The close friend had just died, but Seon didn't even mourn. He only praised Changi and then informed him that the clothes seller had been arrested. Changi didn't even bother to listen to him finish the sentence. As long as he had all that information, he knew what he had to do. The next morning, Changi and his juniors arrived in front of the police station and waited. It was reported that Seon's lawyer had arrived, so the police took him to the truth room and waited. Changi cleverly called a bunch of shippers to the police station to cause a disturbance. While the police were busy dealing with the shipper, Changi calmly walked in and gave Seon a knife and slowly walked out. Changi appears and kills people like a ghost, without anyone knowing. On this side, Chairman Jiang was afraid that Changi would deal with him, so he secretly harmed him. Zhang Qion put the glass manager in the container, which made this news the most popular. Forensics confirmed that the knife marks on the body of the glass manager and the name of the clothes seller were completely matched. Through the rescue tree, Changi called Qion to make an appointment to meet him at the virtual currency listing, afraid too much to give it away. Qion orders his subordinates to increase security and asks for a gun to deal with Changi. The ghost and his partner Min-jae were moving towards Qion when they accidentally encountered Changi. Obviously, the listing location is on the 20th floor, but Changi is on the 19th floor. The sixth sense of a police officer told the crowd that there was something very shady about this man. Waiting for him to walk out, the ghost had already closed the door and silently followed. The two split up and Min-jae immediately confronts Changi. Meanwhile, the ghost was suddenly attacked by a junior Changi. He bought knives extremely skillfully, but they were all broken by the ghost. As for this one, he didn't have a door. The ghost cracked the blow and punched a sane death shot in the side. Returning to Min-jae and Changi, the villain Mango pulls out a knife and stabs the policeman repeatedly. Knowing that he could hardly fight Changi, Min-jae kept shouting the name of the ghost. Mango CA took this opportunity to get on the pillow and ram Min-jae into the gate. Suddenly, an ugly janitor opened the door and walked in. When the crowd was cornering the Jukon, Changi took the janitor over with a knife at his neck. He directly stabbed the janitor in the neck. He had to stop her bleeding, so it was impossible to chase him. The ghost's only trophy is the Jukon, who is knocked unconscious. The inspector put on his helmet and began punching him repeatedly on the head. Through investigation, the investigation team learned that Cho Jae-hun was a former mercenary of the SDS. Because of his violent behavior with his comrades, he was expelled by the organization. All the bloody things were caused by a Changi hand, and Chairman Jong was the one behind the scenes to show him the way. After the last failure, the Ghost's investigation team was asked to be disbanded by the deputy director. The casualties and losses were so great that he lost faith in the herd. Changi's fear makes Chaeyeon unable to stop worrying. More than anyone, he understood very well the ability of the person who had been helping him for several years. In Changi's dictionary, there are no two words for fear. If you don't deal with him quickly, he will kill Chaeyeon in a way that the devil doesn't know what to do. Despite knowing that he was being wanted extremely harshly, Changi still did not run away. He will end this before returning to the Philippines. Changi just said a sentence, and the director pulled him over. The moment Changi smiled, Junior Jae-hun locked the door, signaling an imminent massacre. Both used to be mercenaries, so their speed and skills were extremely good. After a frantic struggle, Changi and his juniors defeated the director to all of his minions. Changi didn't kill her. He stabbed him in the hand and then put the knife in his neck. Did Chaeyeon promise to let him manage the casino? Do you know what the rich want? They want more, but I'm different. I just want my part. The next morning, as soon as he heard that the commissioner had visited the police station, the ghost immediately entered the deputy director's office. He came down to beg him to continue investigating the online casino case. The ghost promised the victim's mother that he would punish the perpetrator. After hearing the ghost's honest words, the commissioner immediately agreed to allow him to destroy the line. The biggest goal of the group now is to prove that Chairman Jong is behind it all. If you want to catch a cop, you have to go to the cave. The ghost went to the clown lord Jisoo to negotiate. He wanted to ask Jisoo to help set up and run an online casino. Can I get a little noodle soup with vegetables? Dong Shue pulled out a badge and said it was the badge of the underground agent. Not only did Jisoo clear all charges when this case was successful, but she was also invited to attend a party every time she had a special occasion. This badge will prove that Jisoo is a policeman, and no one will dare to arrest him if he goes out on the street. Jisoo fell in love with the badge and asked the ghost of the symbol embossed on it. This is the sparrow that symbolizes the dark agent, and the policeman is the eagle. Oh my gosh, blame the agents or tell the sparrows to call the eagles. After everything was arranged, Jisoo immediately asked his fellow animal, "So, who will fly to the Philippines? Then only you are free, and no one else comes here." Seeing that everyone was encouraging, Jisoo immediately pulled his shirt to reveal the sparrow's badge. Dark agents, sparrows call eagles. After arriving in the Philippines, Jisoo asked her friends for help. Together with the support of the local police, everything was quickly sorted out. Meanwhile, the ghost and his teammates were standing in the distance observing everything. They will take care of arresting President Jiang when everything has fallen. In another development, the warehouse manager arranged for Chairman Jiang to meet Changi. Until now, he was still laughing like crazy because he thought that the villain had been arrested. When the director handed Jian the gun, he tried to scare him, but strangely enough, he wasn't scared. As soon as he walked inside, Chairman Jiang shouted Changi's name. When he came face-to-face with Mango, he still didn't notice anything strange, even though he wasn't dazzled. "Don't shut up, I will shoot your head," Give me the management code. You're dying and you're still curious? Okay, I'll fulfill your lifelong wish before I die. After reading the management code, Jian squeezed the grass, but the bullet didn't fly out. Now he knew that he had been slapped by the director. However, Jian is still extremely extravagant. He was confident that Chang'e wouldn't kill him because, without him, he wouldn't have been able to open the iron knot. Chang'e didn't say anything, he just silently took away his index finger. Remember, breaking promises is a sin. Chang'e left to leave Jian to the director to take care of. Do you want to deny anything? Jian suddenly raises his middle finger and rushes in to bite him. On this side, after discovering the new squeeze page created by Jisoo, Chang'e's juniors were ready to set out to knock it down. According to the old method, the juniors asked the IT employees to knock down the page. Then he drove straight inside to attack. However, inside the anti-flow warehouse, there was not a shadow of a person. Suddenly, the police threw bombs and smoke bombs in the middle of the warehouse. The criminals leaving here are like rats being driven into the end of the road. Knowing that there was no way out, Adukon decided to risk eating a lot. He rushed inside to take a hostage to intimidate the police. At the most important moment, the dark agent appeared from behind. Defeating the Dokkan bastard brought an absolute victory to the police. Now, as long as he finds the Emperor's casino, everything will be done. On this side, Chang'e relies on Jian's management code and fingerprint to open the safe. He only took the remaining data, and the gold coins would be left to the director. Returning to Jisoo, thanks to the work of the night agent, the police have determined the location of the casino. They rescued the kidnapped hackers and then destroyed the criminals' data. The cybersecurity team tried to reverse the software, but was unsuccessful. Someone has changed the server's administrative rights, and access is needed to disable it. Although the police had evidence that Chairman Jiang was behind this line, the kitchen shift was taking the server away. The ghost and his comrades quickly arrived at Chairman Jiang's villa. He rushed in and punched 2 punches, causing the director to collapse on the spot. Where is Jiang playing? He's dead. It's not okay, then Chang'e is the last clue of the case. If he leaves Korea, everything will be over. Although the police have contacted the airport for help, the match rate is still too low. When they found the Chang'e, the captain announced that the plane would take off in 10 minutes. When the ghost arrived at the airport, the plane door was closed. Chang'e thought he was about to escape, so he laughed as if he had won the season. Unexpectedly, life is not like a dream, but the ghost enters with a prestigious promise to solve the Chang'e within 5 minutes. Hearing the sound of the ghost, Chang'e and the junior started to stand up. Can you listen to me talk a little? There is a mother who asked me to punish you. Until now, I have not dared to use all my strength against anyone, but you're my exception. After speaking, the ghost rushed to impregnate the Chang'e brothers. Every punch he threw made a person measure the ground. This is the power of the Demon King when using 100 of the power. Even if there are 2 mercenaries, they are not confused with the ghost. Chang'e took advantage of the ghost's blind spot to circle back with a wooden chain. Taking this opportunity, the junior rushed to punch the ghost repeatedly in the face. However, just 5 seconds later, he was free from the chains. Punching Chang'e and then turning around to punch both the junior and the suitcase resounded 10 meters away. Now there are only Chang'e swirls and Demon Kings in large numbers. God loved Chang'e, so he helped him pick up the steak knife. If you leave it alone, you will definitely not be able to attack the ghost. Chang'e immediately broke his head and turned it into his school repair weapon. There is a knife in Chang'e that moves much more quickly. He easily stabbed the ghost through the hole in his body. As he was about to stab the knife into his neck, the ghost grabbed him with all his strength and then carried him forward. The ghost kept throwing horrible punches at Chang'e in the face. The moment Chang'e sat down to get married on the floor, the ghost took the momentum to rush forward and throw a knee into the villain's face. So the case of destroying the high-tech crime line is also over. Some time later, the night agent was speeding the supercar on the road when he was called to pull over. Jisoo held out the badge, but the traffic police said it was a U.S. Food Administration badge. And so the young man was arrested for impersonating the police. Okay, the movie is coming to an end. You guys spend 3 seconds registering for the channel to support us. Thank you for watching our channel. See you in the next movie.